Hello there, BBG family. Welcome to another episode of Brown Girl Boss. I see you all coming in here, so let me go ahead and invite you to introduce yourself in the comments. Let us know, let me know where you are watching from. Let me know if this is your very first time hanging out with me on Brown Girl Boss, and tag your friends in the comments. Today, we're going to be talking about confidence, y'all. So we definitely can all use a boost. So we need to get the people in here in the room so they can hear the message. So tag your friends, share the broadcast on your page. If this is your first time, go ahead and type first time in the comments. And if you're always here hanging out with us on Brown Girl Boss, go ahead and type hey beautiful in the comments so that we can acknowledge you as well. I see y'all coming in here fast and furious, so let me shout out a few people. So hey beautiful, we have Jennifer is here with us, and then we have Bettina is here from New Jersey. Welcome. Gloria from LA over on the west side. Welcome to beautiful Brown Girls, Brown Girl Boss. Elizabeth, first time from Chicago. You get spirit fingers love. Welcome to the party. Oh, another first timer. We have Anna and looks like Atoli from Dallas and K Bloom, all first timers. Ew, so excited y'all are here. I love it when first timers come in and hang with us. Yinka from Denver, Carolyn, first timer. Katrina is a first timer. Oh my God, y'all make my heart so happy. Welcome to BBG TV's Brown Girl Boss. We have Eugenia from Vegas, and then we also have Freyanda from Atlanta, first time as well. Y'all gonna make a girl cry, I swear it. Just so happy that you all are here. Julie from Miami is also here. So, oh my goodness, Tara from Orlando, first time. I need to do a backhand bounce for this, y'all. Come on through here. So excited to have you all here with us. We have an amazing time here on Brown Girl Boss. So excited that you are here for the party. So let me just kind of give you a little insight into what this is. This is our virtual platform that allows us to connect with other like-minded women who are on a mission to live their very best lives. We come to you weekly with programming that will challenge and inspire you and get the conversation going to connect with other beautiful brown girls. My name is Kimberland, and tonight I come to you from Central PA. So super excited to be here. On tonight's show, we're going to be chatting with certified counselor and professional coach Tiffany Morrow. And I know I always say this, like I'm always like, I promise y'all want to pay close attention. You want to get your notebooks, but listen, for real, like I mean it, y'all. I am certain nuggets are going to be flying out left and right. So I really need you to make sure that you are locked in, tuned in, and that you tag every single brown girl that you know who needs to have this conversation about confidence. Okay. I also have a question I want to ask y'all because, like, this is our keep it real space. Okay. This is our safe space where we can hang out as brown girls and we can just really talk about the things. Okay, so I have a question that I want to ask for you all, and really just I want you to kind of do an inventory of where you are in regards to your confidence. Okay, so if you are like, girl, I got this. Okay, I've got all the confidence, honey, enough to share with all the people. I want you to go ahead and put an A in the comments. Okay, you got all the confidence, child. You out here killing it. Okay, or maybe B. You got some, right, but you kind of faking it till you make it, right? You still got to have those pep talks with yourself and kind of get yourself together every so often. Drop B in the comments. And if you like, sis, girl, help me, go ahead and drop C in the comments, okay? So A, I've got all the confidence, honey. I got this together. I'm here to just get me a little extra boost or whatever. Drop A in the comments. B, sometimes I be needing a little support, faking it till I make it. Or C, sis, help me. Okay. So y'all go ahead on and drop that in the comments. And I'm going to tell y'all a little bit about our guest so we can get her in here because I know this time about to fly like lightning. Okay. So we need to make sure that we get into it. Okay. Okay. Let me calm down because I've been getting excited. Here we go. So Tiffany is a licensed therapist and certified coach as she's alive to thrive. She helps women overcome the deep-rooted feeling that they're not good enough. She helps them to really love themselves and know who they are so they can be happy and go after the things they really want. Tiffany is on a mission of joining women who want to be strong, own their power, and change their lives. You can usually find her cuddled up on the couch reading, traveling, or enjoying nature. But tonight, she's hanging out with us here on Brown Girl Boss. So BBG family, let's welcome Tiffany to the show.
Hi.
Hey, beautiful.
Hi, how are you? How is everyone? I'm so excited.
So excited to have you here, girl. I had to take a deep breath and calm myself down. Okay, girl. Turn down just a little bit because the people don't know yet, right? They gonna know by the end of the show, but right now they don't know. Okay, but super excited to be here. I don't know if you got a chance to check out the comments. We kind of have a mixed group. A few A's in the comments. They feel like they just need a little boost. Okay, several kind of faking it till we make it. Needing some support here, and then we also have some C's, right, sis?
Okay.
We need help. Okay. So that just kind of helps us to kind of frame where we might need to go with this conversation. So if you will, can you please start us off by telling us your journey into this work? How does one get into the work of helping women build their confidence?
So it's all from my personal experience. So I never knew I had an issue with confidence. I was always going after my goals. If you looked at me from the outside, you wouldn't think oh, Tiffany has an issue with confidence. But it came up in these super sneaky ways. So I was a constant people pleaser. I was always looking for someone to validate me. Some people had to validate my choices. I just wanted this persona of being nice and being agreeable and doing things the right way. So I realized later, I'm okay, I am not happy. I'm just going. I hid behind my accomplishments because that's how I measured my worth. It was I'm worthy because I have this degree or I did this or I did that. So I was okay, wait, enough is enough. I'm not going to be out here people pleasing and doing all these things and making everybody else happy. So what does Tiffany want? Who do you want to be? How do you really want to show up in your life? Because I had gotten this habit of avoiding anything that was uncomfortable. So if it was uncomfortable, I just didn't do it. So I had to do all of the things. So therapy, coaching, I had to really dig deep and learn who I was. But the biggest thing was really me stepping out and showing up in my life, showing who I was authentically. Doing things, even if they were uncomfortable. And through that process of me learning who I was, of me stepping out, showing up, that's when my confidence began to build. So I was I want to help other women do this because I don't think we sometimes realize that we may be valuing ourselves or we may be tying our worth to something that's external to us. And when we do that, we give so much of our power away. So yeah, I just really want to help women to build that confidence, to really be brave and to be bold and to love themselves because it's this is the only life we get. We were talking about this before. And I just really want to help that woman who just kind of feels stuck. She's I can't do this. I can't do that. And just feels in a rut. So that's how I got into this. And I love it. And I'm just so excited to share the love, share the message, and just help in any way that I can. So.
Oh, I love this. Now, I want to back up just a little bit because you just dropped 17 things, right?
I know, I was trying to do it a nutshell.
But it's cool though because it comes out. I got you because I'm over here taking notes, right? So one of the things I wanted to back up to though is one of the first things you said. You said you realized that you weren't happy. Can you talk to us about how you even had that realization? Because as I'm listening to you talk, when you said, you judged your worth by things, or it
Mm-hmm.
was kind of centered in perfection or
Mm-hmm.
productivity, right? I can
Yep.
relate to that like on so
Yep.
many levels. So I'm really wondering what the point was where you were like, I'm not happy.
So this was years ago, and I was like, okay, I'm in unhealthy relationships. That was the biggest thing. It was like, I'm in unhealthy relationships. I'm allowing people to take advantage of me. I have like no boundaries, like none, like no boundaries at
Mm.
all. I like say yes to all the things. I like truly, my gut is like, no, no, no. Like doing all these different things that weren't truly an expression of me. It was just what I thought other people expected of me. So
Mm-hmm.
I was like, okay, I can't, I'm not happy. So I'm like, I have these relationships, like friendships, like everything. Like it was just revolved around this idea of being perfect and being liked and being nice and doing everything that everyone else thought I should
Mm-hmm.
be doing. Yeah.
Yeah, and as Gabrielle just said, boundaries are so important. So
Yes.
when I think back to my light bulb moment, if you will, and that's why I was interested, like what was the moment for you? I can remember sitting in my therapist's office and just like talking about all the things like that were pulling on me, right?
Mm-hmm.
And she was like, "You have a sign over your head that says if it's broken, Kimberlyn will fix it." And
Oh
I was
yeah.
like, "Oh, girl, we need to turn that off, right?" And that's when I got introduced to the concept of boundaries. I had never heard of it before, right?
Mm-hmm.
But then it was totally different to become aware of it than to actually communicate those boundaries with confidence. So I'm wondering
Yeah.
if you can talk to us a little bit about that process,
Ooh.
um, because it's a thing, you know?
Yes. Boundaries are hard because one, I don't think any of us like we're taught like, oh, these are what your boundaries are. Like we kind of know them. Like when someone crosses it, you know when someone's crossed your boundaries, like you're angry or like you're uncomfortable. Like a really simple example of this is like someone standing way too close to you in the elevator. You're like, okay, you're way too close. So but the process of setting boundaries can be difficult, especially in relationships, especially in like your family and friend relationships, because it's setting a new
Mm.
dynamic in the relationship and new expectations in the relationship that maybe they weren't there before. So one of the things that I had to do was start to really say like, okay, so for example, let me get just a super, super simple example. If I'm at work and I work, let's say 9 to 5, and people will be calling me. They're, like a calling. Like we're on the phone. I had to say, okay, this is too much for me. I have work to do. I love you. I want to talk to you, but I can only talk after 6. Or
Mm-hmm.
so it's just constantly, and it's a constant reinforcement thing. You have to constantly set the boundaries because people will forget. People sometimes won't respect your boundaries. So you have to constantly, like they say, teach people how to treat you and what is
Yeah.
and what is not okay with you. So,
Mm-hmm.
and it don't have to be a
Mm-hmm.
crazy big, like you mad or anything. It's just, this isn't okay with me. This is what I want instead.
Yeah, and then something else you said in that is that you kept saying yes to things, right?
Yeah.
And one of the biggest things that I learned in this, excuse me, in this boundaries journey is that no is a complete sentence.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it is.
Like it's a
It
period,
really, but we
or
feel like
sometimes
we
an
have to
exclamation
say,
point.
yeah.
Yeah, talk about that because sometimes we be like, no, but because I need the, and then because the dog, and like, talk to
Yeah.
us about how we can say no with confidence to support those boundaries so that we don't allow people to break us down.
Yeah. So no is a complete sentence. But I think it's that guilt. It's that guilt and wanting to explain and to make it's just to make us feel better in the moment about having some justification for our no. But I think the thing with saying no with confidence is knowing why you're saying no. What are you saying yes to
Mm.
for yourself? I'm saying yes
Mm.
to my self-care. I'm saying yes to other commitments I have. I'm saying yes to whatever it is for you. So really having that in mind is what am I saying yes to? This may be a no right now, maybe later if possible, but it doesn't have to be what am I saying yes to? It doesn't have to be this guilt that's involved because we all have limited time. We all have limited resources, different values and different commitments. So we have to honor the things that are important for us.
Mm-hmm. So I told you I was gonna kind of back. I got a whole list over here. Okay, I'm coming in hot and heavy. So one of the other things that you said was about authenticity,
Mm-hmm.
and I think that's a word that's I feel like I've been seeing it more often. You know that
Mm-hmm.
people are saying that they're existing authentically and all of that. I would love to hear what your understanding of the word is and how we get some.
So, my understanding of authenticity, the way I view it, is showing up as your full self, not hiding or pleasing or putting on this front for anybody else. So, it's showing those parts of yourself that maybe you don't believe other people may accept or may understand. So, for example, I'm an introvert and I've always had
Same.
extroverted friends. I like always. So, and I was afraid. I was like, I don't, so I would commit and say, oh, I'm gonna go to this party, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that. And I'm like, and I'm in there like, why am I here? I would rather be home. I would rather be on my couch, reading a book. Like, so I had to start stepping out and saying, my energy is just not, I just need this. Maybe I can go next time. Like maybe negotiating that with the other person, but it's showing your full self and even those parts that you may be ashamed of or that you don't believe people agree with. Yeah.
Yeah, so I need to dig in a little bit more here though,
Mm-hmm.
because I think it's very easy, especially for you and I who have started this work, right? But I'm thinking about our BBG family that's on, and they're kind of like, how? I guess this is a multifaceted question of if I have not been authentic, how do
Mm-hmm.
I connect to who that authentic person is? Right? Like,
Mm-hmm.
how do I even discover who that is? But then also, once I find who that is, how do I know how to show up as that person?
Yeah. So the first thing is really knowing who you are. So that's like a foundation for everything that I like to do is really knowing who you are, like what values are important to you, what are your strengths, what are your weaknesses, what do you like to do, what do you want
Mm,
for your life, like what do you imagine that your life will look like. So it's first having that foundation of really knowing who you are and the things that are the most important to you. Now, showing up in the world is how do I express my values? So, how do I express my values and my personality into the world? So, that can be of like in the way that you dress, that can be in the work that you do and how you
mm,
express your views. Like it could be, it doesn't have to be these major things. It's just consistently showing up and being real. Like not let's say you're in a conversation with someone and they disagree with you. So
mm,
if you're not being authentic, you may choose to be silent if that is what's going to benefit you. But sometimes a lot of us we don't speak up. We don't say what's on our
mm,
mind. We don't really say how we feel or our position on the situation. So showing up authentically is saying, hey, well, this is my viewpoint. Let's have a conversation about it. It may be different
mm,
from yours, but I'm open to hearing your point of view as well. But this is how I feel. So it's just in
mm,
those little moments when you get opportunities to just show up and just really be you, not feel like you
mm.
have to be this other person or the representative is what I like to call that person. You don't have to put your
Yeah.
representative out there. Yeah.
Yeah, because I feel like, especially as Black women, not I feel, I know, as Black women, we have to do so much mental gymnastics when we show up into spaces, right? As Kimmy said, sometimes we feel invisible,
Mm-hmm.
right? Or we feel like we can only be accepted in a particular package,
Mm-hmm.
right? So what action steps like do you have for us to help us to be able to break out of that? Because I feel like it's so much easier said than done.
Mm-hmm.
Like for instance, I work for myself now, so it's kind of
Mm-hmm.
like
I do what
you
I
take
want.
it or you leave it, okay? Right?
Mm-hmm.
But everybody's not in that position. So for those of us who are in spaces where we're used to having to, okay, I got to put on a good face and, go to work. How do we start tapping into that authenticity so we can confidently show up as our authentic selves?
So there's this thing that I'd like to call, it's building your bravery muscle because essentially
Okay.
if you're afraid, maybe you're afraid to step out and be your true self at work, like whether that, you're in a corporate space and maybe you're not, you want to tone yourself down. I hear that a lot from people that they don't want, because they don't want to be accepted. They feel like they have to be a certain way. So there's a thing that I like to use with clients. It's called the bravery ladder. And it's basically building that muscle. So it's like, I'm not going to go from 1 to 10 overnight.
Right.
It's slowly building those small steps that are going to take you to that 10. So what is one small thing that you could do tomorrow that would be an expression of you and bringing that your true self? And it could be, I have some people, maybe they don't want to wear their natural hair to work. Okay, so maybe that's step 10. Maybe step 10 is like, I don't want to wear my natural hair to work. Maybe step 1 would be, maybe I don't wear it straight. Maybe I wear it curly. Or maybe I do something. It's like figuring out what those steps are and going through that. Because I think a lot of us, we feel like, okay, if I do this thing, there's going to be some consequence. There's going to be some outcome that I don't necessarily want to deal with. And that may or may not be true. So it's testing out that those assumptions and those stories and all of that. And yeah.
Yeah, so you just sparked something in my mind, right? Because when you said natural hair, I just did like the big chop in the whole situation last year, right?
Okay.
And it wasn't necessarily that I was like, "Ooh, I'm about to like embrace my natural hair." It was more like because of COVID and my hair, like I had some braids in, and I didn't feel like combing through it all because it was super matted after I had washed it. I was just like, I'm about to cut it. Like, and ain't nobody gonna see it anyway because I'm gonna have these braids in. And it's grown into this like, yo, this is who I am. What's up? Like, I don't even want my hair straight anymore. But when you just said that, it made me think about what I started doing maybe about 3 or 4, maybe 5 years ago, is I would do a twist out on my relaxed hair. Right. So I was like fake natural out here in these streets, but that got me comfortable. And none of this, I wasn't doing it consciously, but now that I'm like thinking about it, but that got me comfortable with what my hair looked like when it wasn't blowing in the wind. Right. So now it's like I can fully embrace what that looks like and feels like. So I put that question up here because community, I really want you all to think about this and start dropping this into the comments, because we're going to be accountability partners for each other. Like, what is one small thing that you can do tomorrow to start embracing your authentic self? Maybe that looks like somebody says something that you don't agree with, and you actually say, I don't agree with that, right? Or maybe somebody makes, I think about all the microaggressions that we have to deal with in workplaces, right? Maybe someone says some type of microaggressive situation, and instead of you laughing out of nervousness, you just say, that's not funny. Right? So what is one small thing that you all can do tomorrow to start embracing your authentic self? Go ahead and drop that into the comments while we keep talking. Okay, were you about to say something else? Because I'm okay, cool. Because Elizabeth had made a comment and she said, she talked about as children, a lot of us are taught not to use our voice and to be polite and not to really show our emotions. I feel like that's resonating with you. Talk to us, sis. Talk to us about it. Talk to us.
So nice girl syndrome. So yeah. That has definitely have been my experience as well. Is that I was, and I don't think that my parents had any I don't even think that this was a conscious thing that my parents did, but it was like, yeah, as a girl, you be nice and you be sweet, and other people may not agree, but it's okay, and you be kind, and it's always important. It's like it felt like, at least it feels like now, everything was focused on that other person. Like, make sure they're comfortable, make sure they're okay, make sure they believe that you're nice, and I believe that is where a lot of that came from, and that nice girl syndrome. And then I also feel like, I don't even want to go into a tangent, but the society as a whole, like there's a lot of different expectations on us as a whole to be submissive and to be kind and to not be like overbearing or anything. So that definitely completely makes sense that we would have issues with speaking our voice and speaking out and going against what someone else may say. So I don't even remember the question. What was your question?
No, you hit it the nail on the head.
Okay.
It's really like she was talking about how we're trained
Yeah.
not to use our voice and we're trained to be
Yep.
polite. And I've never heard it framed as you did as nice girl syndrome. I don't
Mm-hmm.
know what I was calling it, but I like that package because that's what it is. It's like we're trained to not be too combative, or because as Black women we're always with the angry Black woman syndrome, and we got an attitude and all of these things, so we continue to suppress our
Mm-hmm.
emotions or the things that we're feeling or everything that our body is saying to us, so that we present a certain way, and all of that is just eroding our confidence and our self awareness of who we even are, because we don't even know it ourselves anymore.
Yeah, because if we keep doing that, then we start to lose our voice. And if we start to
Mm-hmm.
lose our voice, we start to not trust ourselves, our opinions, our you don't you have to like we talked about this a little bit, and I'll tell a little bit about the 6 pillars as well. But the 6 pillars of confidence, one of them is really being self-assertive. What you want, what you need, those things are important. Nobody's going to fight for those things but you. So it's stepping out and saying, okay, these things are important to me. And maybe I don't agree with you, but it's really stepping out and using that voice for yourself, because like, who's going to have our back? No one's going to have our back more than we are.
Right. So can we jump into that, these 6 pillars of confidence?
Yeah.
Or is that something you're able to lay out for us? Okay, go ahead.
Yeah. And I'm going
I'm
to
over
just
here
give
taking
them
notes
like
too.
real little nutshells of each one. I don't want to give too much information.
Because the people gotta go check you out to get the full program. But just give us a
Oh, no,
little
no. I just
taste.
want to make
Just
it
give us a little
easy
taste.
breezy.
Give us a little taste. What you got?
All right. So the first one is living consciously. So it's this idea of not living like just going through the flow. Like it's like this mental fog type of thing. So it's really being aware, bringing mindfulness to your choices in your everyday life. So like that's number one. The second pillar is self-acceptance. So it's this idea of having respect for yourself, not being in any type of adversarial relationship with yourself. So having that kindness, that compassion, and accepting yourself. And that the second part of it, which is kind of hard, can be kind of hard at times, is accepting yourself for where you are now.
Mm.
So it's like, yeah, it's not saying, oh no, I don't change what I don't like, but it's accepting myself fully as I am now, imperfections and all. Like I am not going to be in a combative relationship with myself. I'm going to be kind and to be loving towards myself.
So I gotta pause you right there, sis. I gotta pause
Okay.
you. I gotta pause you
Okay.
right there. Okay. Because sometimes I'm gonna use I statements, okay? I'm gonna use I statements. Sometimes I be saying the most ridiculous things to myself, right?
Mm-hmm.
That I would never say to somebody else. So when I hear you say,
Mm-hmm.
accept yourself in your current state,
In current state.
flaws and all, I'm gonna
Yep.
need an exercise or a
I got
routine
one.
or something. Let me have it.
I got one. So it's this idea. So, like I said, accepting yourself fully. Now, the thing is, you don't have to like what you see, you don't have to like what is there, but it's like a precursor for change. You have to see it, acknowledge it, accept that this is what it is. It's like an acknowledgement of what it is. Acceptance isn't like, oh, I just can't change. I just can't do anything. It's like, I'm not going to be tuggling with myself about this. So, I have this exercise. It's the mirror exercise, and it's very quick. You could do this every day for like 2 minutes, and it's
Okay.
looking at yourself in the mirror, like, and I prefer. So the way it's done, is best if it's just, it sounds so crazy if you're naked. So and you say to yourself, because then you're gonna feel all the feelings. You're gonna probably have some resistance. I don't like this, or I got that gray hair, and oh no, I don't like this part. It's like you sit there and you say to yourself, I love myself where I am now, imperfections and all. And you just say that for 2 minutes in the mirror, like, and just sit there, love on all the parts of your body, everything. So it's like, and it can be whatever. You can change the language up if you like, but the gist is I love myself where I am now, imperfections and all.
Mm. And so we just repeat that.
You just repeat it for 2 minutes. It's just a 2 minute exercise. You could do it I usually recommend that people do it every day, because what happens is when you first get in that mirror, a lot of stuff is going to come up for you. There's going to be a lot of resistance. Oh, my thighs are too big. My butt's too big. I got these wrinkles and all of that. And usually we fight with ourselves and we don't realize that we're fighting with ourselves, because usually it's an unconscious thing. It's just like, oh, I don't, but it forces you to sit there and to just love on yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Kimberly says it sounds simple and corny, but it is
Yes, it is
so
very
difficult.
difficult. Yep. It's very
Mm-hmm.
difficult.
So that made me, I'm not trying to get you off track, but that made me think about something you said. You said we accept ourselves, but that doesn't mean we have to like it.
So you don't have to, yeah.
Um,
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
no, I was just gonna say that was a mind shift, I guess, for me, right? Because I'm thinking because I've done mirror exercises before, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I think I was thinking I was trying to make myself like what I'm looking at, right? So for instance, I've gained weight, right? So it's like, oh, I want to like be Lizzo and be body confident and like, the things, right? But it's not necessarily about liking it, because I want to do something about it, right? Because I don't like it, but it's the accepting.
It's accepting. It's accepting this is where I am now. You can choose to love it the way you are now, or you can choose to change it. The control is all with you. Yeah.
I like that. Okay, so we had what were our things
Living
again?
consciously,
Living
self-acceptance.
consciously, self-acceptance. What's the next pillar?
Self-responsibility. So this is the idea that nobody's coming to save me. No one is coming to be my hero. No one's going to change my life. No one is going to change or fix anything. Like, I have to do that myself. So it's very simple. It's like, it's having this sense of control over your life. And yeah, so it's having that, no, I'm my own hero. No one else is coming to save me.
I love this. Hey, community, can y'all help us take notes? So like I need some designated note takers in there to get these points down, okay, just in case folks are missing it. Because people like ask questions, they're like, wait, what was that?
I can put them, I can put them in.
Okay, no, it's cool. We got the community got us, girl. They be out here, girl. They be out here. Okay. So the third one, say what you said it was again.
Self-responsibility.
Self-responsibility. I am my own hero. I'm not waiting on somebody else to come and save me. This is me. I am the answer to whatever I'm trying to get. Okay. All right. Okay. What's next?
Now we already talked about this one. The fourth one is self-assertiveness. So my needs, my wants, all of that is important. So I am going to make sure that I'm expressing myself to the world and making sure that my needs, wants, goals, all of that, though, all of those are important. Yeah.
So I guess this brings me back to something you said earlier, because sometimes we don't know what we want, right? Or what we need, for that matter. So I can think back again, the same therapist, she used to cut me to pieces. But I had been in an abusive relationship, and I had decided, we were engaged, and I decided to end the engagement and all of that. And she asked me, I swear, for like 2 years, she was like, what do you want this to look like? And I could not answer her. Like, I was like, I don't know why you keep asking me that, lady. Like, I don't know, right? And then I remember one day it just came to me, and I was like, peace. That's what I wanted to look like. Peace. Right? But it took me 2 years, sis, to figure this out. I need a shortcut for us, girl. So something that just came in my mind is thinking, like, what do we choose, right? So like in this current season that I'm in, I choose joy and freedom. Like, that's what I want for me. Yeah. Is that kind of like what you're talking about?
Yeah, it's what are the things that you want, the things that you need. But like I think part of what makes it difficult is that that conscious piece. It's like we don't really know what it is that we want. We may just be going and going and going and rushing, and like we're just doing the things because we have to. We're going to work, we're paying the bills, and we're just going, going, going. So taking some time to yourself to like really be present and without distractions, or meditation is a big one. I know it's like meditate. People talk about meditation so much, but it really is very helpful to
Mm-hmm.
really getting all that fog out, like just sitting with
Yes.
your thoughts, like, and just formal or informal, like meditation is very helpful to having to tapping into that consciousness.
I love that. I love that. So, community, thanks, Isoli, for taking notes for us. Appreciate your love.
Yes, thank you.
Drop into the chat if you know the answer to this question. What are the things that you want and need? And maybe it's even helpful for you to start off. Like I said, I choose joy, freedom,
Mhm.
and liberation. Like that's what I know that I need in this season. Go ahead and drop that, because y'all, we about to hold each other accountable. Okay, we getting this together. All right. What number we on,
We are number
Tiffany?
5.
Yeah, girl, I'm glad you keep it track. Okay, number 5. What we got?
Living purposefully. So
Mm.
it's like the plan of action. So it's like there's an analogy. It's like, okay, I can say like, oh, I love my work. So it's like, but yeah, you have to go to work, you got to do the work, you got to do all that. So it's like sometimes we lose that though, that mentality in our personal lives. It's like, oh, I love this thing, or I love this person. But it's like, what is the plan of action? What are
Mm.
you going to do in order to make those things that you want and that you need a reality? So it's
Mm.
living purposefully is all about having a plan of how you're going to get those things and the things that you want,
Yeah.
your goals.
And that's something I used to take for granted, that people like know how to plan that out, right? Like to take the
Hmm.
things and make it into a plan. So
Yeah.
actually going through that planning process.
Hmm. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It's like what is the saying? It's like a plan without a goal is just a dream, or something like that. It's
Yeah,
something
something
like
like
that.
that. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like having that plan, and it's like it doesn't have to be crazy. Like I'm all about super small steps, super small things. It's gonna be like, okay, one step here, and then we're gonna do that step there. So it's all about those small things that are gonna build that so you're reaching those goals and everything.
I love that. All right. Well, take us home, girl. What is pillar number 6?
All right, the last one is personal integrity. So what I say, they kind of all go together. It's crazy. So the
Mm-hmm.
last one is personal integrity. Is my words, like the things that I say are important to me, my values and all of that, and my
Mm.
behavior is matching what I'm saying. So it's like your choices, your words, all of that has to match. And like that is the biggest thing that builds confidence is are your choices and your actions. So that's like the biggest step. They kind of they have a reciprocal relationship. It's like the things that
Yeah.
build confidence are also the things that sustain confidence. So it's like once you learn how to integrate those 6 pillars into your day-to-day living, and it's like, okay, let's take one small step, and one small step, things don't have to be perfect. It's like then that's when the confidence builds, because you're stepping out, you're speaking your mind, you're because then you're also building this relationship with yourself, in that I can trust myself and I'm
Right.
showing myself to the world. So yeah.
Oh my gosh, this is so good. Okay, can you run them back one more time for us, just so those who are helping us capture notes can get that into the comments for us. So just 1 through 6. You don't have to explain like what they are, but just if you'll
Hmm.
go back through 1 through 6 in case we blinked and missed it.
Okay, so living consciously, self-acceptance, self-responsibility, self-assertiveness, personal integrity, and living purposefully. I mixed those last 2 up. 5 is living purposefully. It doesn't really matter. They don't have to be. They're not like a 1, 2, 3. Do this, do this. But yeah.
Gotcha. But thank you for that, because I feel like I keep saying this, like it's so much easier said than done, right?
Yeah.
So if folks are anything like me, we be
Mm-hmm.
needing steps, right?
Yep.
And I appreciate the activities as well, like standing in the mirror or
Mm-hmm.
one small thing that I can do tomorrow to show
Mm-hmm.
up as a more authentic version of myself, right? This was really good. And shout out to my girl taking these notes. You hear me?
Thank you. Got him.
She is here. She is the VIP of the day. Um, oh my gosh, I love this. So we're gonna get some questions
Okay.
answered, and there were a few that were dropped into the comments. So I'm gonna go back and find those. If you all have specific questions, if you will go ahead and drop them in. We have about 10 minutes for questions, and then we're gonna let y'all know where y'all can find Tiffany. Okay, I told you, didn't I tell y'all? Y'all see why I was excited, okay? Okay, so here we go. So Monty said she's lived most of her life floating and going with the flow, never really dreaming or wanting anything. How do you start dreaming and coming up with these types of things?
Ooh, wait, you know what? We didn't go over something that was really important. So something that's really important is our self-concept. So the way what we believe about ourselves, what's available to ourselves, and what our view of ourselves anticipates the things that we're going to go after. So like, for example, if I don't think something's attainable for me, I'm not going to go after it.
Mm.
So to answer this question is one, I have a couple questions with this. It is figuring out what are your values. I would say that's the first step, is figuring out what are your values, because those are the things that are going to be the driving force for anything that you do. What are the things that are most important for you to experience in life? So, and then the dreaming part, so that sparked the self-concept, is that many of us, and it makes sense, don't dream because maybe we don't believe something's available to us. Maybe we don't believe that we can have that dream or that goal or that we can attain that. So we don't see it as a possibility for ourselves. But it is definitely a possibility for you. You just have to start with what are those values. And I really love to vision with people and figure out exactly what it is that you want for your life with no limits. Like, what is it with no limits? Because that self-concept kind of, it limits us if we don't believe that those things are available to us.
Yeah, that's exactly what it made me think about. Like, if money wasn't an issue or,
Mm-hmm.
whatever constraints might be there, like, what are the things?
Mm-hmm.
I love that. I love that. Okay. Barbara said, how do I stop being lazy?
I get this a lot with clients. The question is, are you truly lazy? How true is it that you're lazy? It may not,
Hmm.
there may be something else going on. So I would want to talk to this person and figure out exactly what is going on. So maybe it's a situation where no, you're not really lazy. There's something else underneath, some type of assumption or storyline that's kind of driving that behavior. Or it could be that discipline maybe an issue. Maybe it is an issue because a lot of us, discipline is forgoing what I want right now for what I want later. So
Hmm.
yeah, how can we, if discipline truly is the issue, how can we start to work on putting that discipline in your daily life so that it doesn't feel um, too overwhelming? There we go.
Yeah, I love that. I was hoping that you were going to pick up on that because everything in my spirit was kind of like, are you lazy though? Right?
Mm,
Because I think that's a label that a lot of us have gotten placed on us, probably back to childhood
mhm,
of, lazy and selfish and like all of these negative things and the stuff that we've carried with us throughout
yeah,
life that may not really be the truth,
it may
but we've
not be
been
true.
operating as that because we've been labeled as that.
Hmm. Yep.
Mhm.
Again, that's another
Mhm.
self-concept thing. Yep.
Right,
Who we think
right.
we are. Yep.
Yeah. Wow. Okay. Irma said, how do we release negative people from our lives?
Woo, child, slowly fade away. No.
Ghost
So
them. No.
exactly. So the thing is really important. Is like, what do you want your relationships to look like? What do you want those relationships to look like? What does nourishing relationships look like for you? And if a person truly is negative and you realize they're just in your spirit, you don't want that. Um, only you have those answers of how you will begin that process of releasing them from your life. Me personally, I'm a slow fade person. I try to resolve, maybe there's an issue and I confront the person and we try to resolve it. But if it truly is a person that I don't want. It can be hard, especially for people who have been around for a long time, or we may have, it can be very hard. So yeah, I would say try to resolve, but if not, figure out what's going to work best for you and what's going to serve you best.
Love that. All right. Gloria says, what can we do to stop being a yes person?
You can start saying yes to yourself instead. So say yes to yourself instead. So the simple thing is like, what is your first reaction? We know what we do and don't want to do. So if someone asks you to do something, what's your first reaction? Is it an excited yes? Is it like, yeah, I can't wait to do this? Or is it a, I don't really want to do this, like, but I'm gonna do it. It's like, okay, and then you're rationalizing. So I would say the first step is maybe don't say no right away. If that's maybe too hard right now, say, let me think about that and give yourself some time to make a decision.
I feel like somebody had put that tip in earlier too. I know for me, I used to say, because I had an overcommitment problem, so I just want to do all the things. I was just telling you about this, right? I want to do all the things, right? So I started saying, I need to check my calendar. Right. And then I kind of developed into no. But it was like over time, right? Because I know that my calendar wouldn't allow, or I had blocked that space out. Because something else, not to go on the tangent, but something else when we was talking about the boundaries, right? When people will ask you like what you're doing, because they're trying to like sense out if they're going to ask you what they're going to ask you instead of just asking you what they want to ask you.
Yeah.
Like, how do you combat that? Because I do it, but I'm probably not very nice about it. Do you have any tips of how we can be graceful in that process?
So the person is asking you, they're trying to like feel it out like,
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
They want to ask you to babysit, or they want to ask you to do something, some kind of something, but they're like, what you doing today? Like, oh, what you doing next week? Instead of just saying, hey, can you babysit for me next week? You know what I mean? Yeah. So then, like, how do we deal with that?
Yeah, because then what happens is you're like, I'm not doing anything. And then they're like, oh, great. Great.
Correct. Right. But that's what I'm doing. Nothing. Like that's what I was gonna do was nothing.
See, but that's something that is something that I have self-care time. So it's like, so for that, it would be okay. They feel the now you could say, no, I'm not doing anything, or you could say, I really do. I have plans today, because your plans are to do nothing. You don't have to tell them that that's your plan. My plans are to do nothing and to have time for self-care. But my plan is that's my plan. My plan is to do nothing. I have plans today. I have commitments today. Why do you ask?
And that's who just said that? Julie. She said she asked them why, because that's what I usually say. Why?
I have commitments today. Why do you ask?
I don't even say that. I'll be like, why?
Yeah, I mean, what works for you?
Graceful. I'm gonna be more graceful in that. So Nina said, how can I handle a person's unsolicited advice?
Ooh, unsolicited advice. So there's a lot of different. It depends on the situation and the person. But I mean, you don't have to be bothered. So for me personally, I just okay. Thank you. Take everything with a grain of salt. You don't have to let it impact you or your choices. It's just they just gave me some advice. Okay, and this is like, it's gone. If it's become a pattern and it's something that's really bothering you, I would say to confront the person and say, hey, I got this, whatever way works for you. But yeah, I get a lot of unsolicited advice from maybe people who are older than me. And I just take everything with a grain of salt. I don't have to listen. I don't have to agree. That is a situation where you may or may not choose to be assertive or self-assertive. Like, it's not going to serve me to say, oh, well, this, and go back and forth with the person. What's going to serve you best in that situation?
Love it. Love it. So Tiffany, girl, our time is almost out. Okay. So I want you, I told you it was gonna fly. I was like, girl, this thing gonna fly like lightning. I
Wow.
want you to talk to the people about where they can find you, how they can work with you, what tools do you have that they may be able to access to start this work. Tell the people the things, sis.
All right. So for coaching, you can find me at she'salive2thrive.com. For therapy, you can find me at confidentlifecounseling.com. Also, I have a really cool quiz on my coaching website. It's at she'salive2thrive.com/quiz, where you can take the quiz and see what may be stopping you from living the life that you want. It's fun, and it gives you a little bit of information and a little bit of insight of what may be stopping you. So I do also have a podcast, the She's Brave podcast, and you can find that on my website, she'salive2thrive.com/podcast.
Love it. So she's alive to thrive, you all. I'm showing it here on the screen for you. Okay.
Thank
So
you.
when you go there, you can see all the things, the podcast, the blog, you put the backslash and the quiz, you get the quiz, honey. Okay, y'all, listen, get the hookup while you up in here. Is it also She's Alive to Thrive on social media spaces as well?
Yes. So I am on Instagram. So She's Alive to Thrive, the number 2. Yep.
Okay.
And on Pinterest as well. She's
Perfect.
Alive to Thrive.
Awesome, awesome. Okay, so if you had to leave a parting thing, like if we ain't get nothing, which I know we did, if we ain't get nothing else, this is what you want everybody to leave with.
So, I mean, this is the biggest thing that I like to tell women is that this is your life. And this is the only chance that we get. I truly believe that it is to be lived fully and authentically and on your terms. Like, there's so much more that you can accomplish and that you can do that you may not even know is possible. But once you start taking action and doing those small steps, you'll begin to realize how strong you are, how strong you've always been from the beginning. So I'm just, yeah, I know everyone here is going to do amazing things.
Yes, yes, yes. I am just so excited that we got to spend this time together. I know we had a whole bunch of first timers, so I don't want y'all to run because I need to tell y'all some things, okay? So I think it was Anna had asked a little bit ago. She was like, she wants this type of thing every month. She's like, you need to, this what she said, can you come back for another live session later
Yes,
or once
I
a
would love
month?
to.
Right? So you're definitely officially a part of the family now, sis. Like you are in
Oh,
here like
thank
swimwear,
you.
honey. So you're not going to be able to get rid of us. But I also wanted to share with the community that next week we are having Beautiful Brown Girls Wellness Week. Okay, so it starts on Monday, runs Monday through Friday, the 23rd through the 28th. And we have a bunch of speakers that are going to be talking about different aspects of wellness, just like Tiffany was doing tonight. So if you go to browngirlwellnessweek.com, you'll be able to register for all of the events that we have. They're absolutely free. So we have Denise is going to be talking about journaling and self-discovery. We have a guided yoga session with Shantia Thompson. We have building better work boundaries, which we talked a little bit about boundaries today, but Unetta Smith is going to talk to us more about that. Samora Suber is going to talk to us about mindfulness and meditation, right? We talked a little about that. And then on Friday, Yvette Poland is going to talk to us about relationships. And we're going to have a Q&A session during that time. So again, if you go to Brown Girl Wellness Week, you're able to access that. Again, it's absolutely free for you to be able to participate. We also want to make sure that you all are connected to us in our social spaces. So if you go to our Facebook page, Beautiful Brown Girls, our Facebook group, Beautifully Shaded, our Instagram page is Beautifully Shaded, and our Twitter is Beautiful Brown You. We also have a members VIP space, and that's when you go to members.beautifulbrowngirls.com. You're able to access all of the VIP things that we do. This is our space off of Facebook, free from the algorithms, a place where we can be our beautiful brown selves and talk about all the things that we want to talk about without fear of any listening ears. So definitely go to members.beautifulbrowngirls.com and you'll be able to see all of the events we have. We do so much more than just this. We have in-person brunch chapters. We have painting classes and flower arranging and cooking and wine tastings. And it's all kind of stuff, y'all. So definitely want to make sure that you all get connected to us. And while you're out there connecting, also make sure you drop by my page. I am Kimberlyn J on Instagram, and you can follow my shenanigans and all of the foolishness that I have going on from day to day, and get some of this positivity that we're putting out here into this space. Okay, Tiffany, you hit a home run, love. So glad that you took some time out to hang out with us tonight. This was everything.
Thank you for having me. I really enjoyed myself and talking with you all, answering your questions and everything.
Yes. So you all make sure you go again over to She's Alive to Thrive. Go take that quiz. Go check out Tiffany's website. Run over to her social spaces so that you're able to stay connected. And I hope we're going to be seeing you out here in these beautiful brown girl streets.
Yep, definitely.
Awesome, awesome. All right, y'all. So we will see you on Monday when Beautiful Brown Girl Wellness Week kicks off. So again, make sure that you go to Brown Girl Wellness Week to register for that, and we will catch you all on the other side of things. Bye, y'all.
Bye.